Black women have surpassed every other group in this country based upon race and gender.
And I am so tired. You know what? There was an article that just came out that said
Black women are the dumbest group in America.
Saying Black women are the most educated group in America is like saying Lizzo is the face of health. It is a lie wrapped in praise to distract from the actual damage. For over a decade, this narrative have been thrown around like it's some type of badge of honor. You've seen it in articles, you've heard it from politicians, and you've watched it go viral every election season. But here's the truth. It is not a real stat. It is a feel-good slogan based on selective data twisted into a cultural delusion. And today, we're pulling the mask off. Because if Black women are truly the most educated group in this country, then why can't their children read? Why do we have some of the lowest literacy rates in our communities while the so-called most educated group keep racking up degrees, debt, and delusion? Please make it make sense. This episode is going to do 4 things. 1, expose where this lie actually came from. 2, break down the real numbers, not the cherry-picked ones. 3, show how this lie was weaponized for political and emotional manipulation. And 4, most importantly, call out the consequences of buying into it. Because if these degrees haven't fixed the culture, the families, or the finances, then what exactly are we celebrating? I am Carmen JC, and I am here to open your eyes. Let's get into it. Much like myself, most of you are probably tired of being gaslit into believing Black women are the most educated group in America, when in reality, the title was never earned, it was engineered. It's the line we've heard 1,000 times from media pundits, social media influencers, and politicians, and more importantly, from Black women themselves. But where did they actually get this from? The earliest version of this claim I can trace back was from a 2014 blog post on Shine for Harriet, a platform created to center and uplift Black women. That's where Jenks Morton first explained why he believes Black women are the most educated, but instead of breaking it down with clarity and context, he took one stat and he ran with it. Let's go ahead and take a listen to Jenks Morton gaslighting us into believing that because Black women are the most enrolled, they're the most educated. Let's take a listen.
For the first time, over 50% of young Black women, 18 to 24, are enrolled in college. Half. Overall, this is from age 15 to forever. For the first time in the history of data collection by the National Center for Education Statistics, as reported by the U.S. Census Bureau, Black women have surpassed every other group in this country based upon race and gender. What does that mean? For the first time in our history, African American women have surpassed all groups in college entrance based upon race and gender. That's right. African American women enroll in college more than Asian men, white women. You name the group, either race or gender, African American women are number 1 by the numbers. 9.7%. Historic and monumental. A number that I believe every mainstream media, if not mainstream, every Black media outlet should be reporting. This is Black History Today. It's being made. Where is the press release? Where is the news outlet? Where is the media outlet that would give us just one slight tip of the hat that Black women have set history, that Black history is being made right now?
So let's unpack what you just heard. That entire narrative is built on a 2011 report by the National Center for Education Statistics, which showed that Black women had the highest college enrollment rate relative to their population size. Let me say that again. Enrollment, not graduation, not degree completion, not job placement, not long-term success. Enrollment means that you signed up for class, but not necessarily finished it. But people took that technical measurement and turned it into a tagline. No one asked what type of degrees were being earned. No one looked at the debt that came from them. No one questioned whether these degrees actually led to economic power or upward mobility. Instead, that stat was turned into a cultural talking point. Black women are winning. Black women are dominating. Black women are the most educated. But if that were true, we'd see it reflected in the outcomes. So let's ask the hard questions. If Black women are the most educated, why do we lead the country in student loan debt? Why are we overrepresented in government jobs that offer stability, not wealth? Why are we most likely to be single mothers on antidepressants and raising children who cannot read at grade level? This is the part they don't want to talk about, because the stats was never about the truth. It was about optics. It was about making us feel empowered without fixing anything. It's about giving us praise instead of giving us progress. They took a surface level stat, inflated it into a cultural identity, and used it to silence accountability. Let's get into it. Let's look past the headlines and into the data. If Black women are supposedly the most educated, then let's actually break down what that means in degrees, in debt, and outcome. Yes, there are a lot of Black women enrolled in college, but don't confuse signing up with actually dominating. Let's look at the actual degrees being handed out. White women earned about 57.3% of bachelor's degrees. Hispanic women earned about 17.9%. And Asians, they earned about 8.3% of the bachelor degrees. And Black women earned about 11.5%. Now, at the doctorate level, white women earned about 61.6%. Asian earned about 12.6%, and Black women earned about 11.9%. I am going to let the TikToker guru explain this better so you guys can understand. Let's go ahead and take a look at the clip.
Black women are the most educated group in the U.S. according to the National Center for Education Statistics. Well, Guru, it must be true, because according to Essence magazine, they tell us that Black women account for 68% of associate degrees, 66% of bachelor's, and 71% of master's. So I actually clicked on the link that Essence provided in their article that took me to the percentage distribution of degrees conferred to U.S. citizens and permanent residents. Black are right here, and the females say 13.6, and the females for bachelor's say 11.5, and the females for master's say 14.0. Well, let's compare that to other female groups. Caucasian females, 13.6 to 47.8. That doesn't look like the most. Bachelor's, 11.5 for Black, compared to 57.3 for Caucasian. That doesn't look like the most. Master's, 14 compared to 60.9. That doesn't look like the most either. Well, what about most enrolled, Guru? BWs are significantly less than Caucasian women to enroll in 4-year colleges and graduate within 6 years and go on to earn advanced degrees. Looks like Essence magazine and all the women repeating it on social media got it wrong after all.
As he said, that is not the smartest. So let's cut the nonsense. If we're going to go by degrees that actually get earned, not enrollment hype, Asians are the most educated and Black women are still at the bottom. I am sorry, the fact said it, I didn't. And not to mention, the degrees that are being earned is not STEM, no law, no medical. It's social work, psychology, criminal justice, general studies degrees that don't even bring in high income. So let's stop pretending like every degree has the same value just because it came with a cap and gown. Like, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And let's be real, if we're talking about who paid the most for their so-called education, it is Black women. According to official data, Black women graduate with over $41,000 in student loan debt after undergrad. And by the time they're done with undergrad and on with graduate school, that number shoots up to $75,000. That is not a flex. That is a setup. So Black women, you better be the most educated for what you're paying. But unfortunately, it's just not true, because you don't get a trophy for debt. You don't get extra credit for racking up bills without upward mobility. You have been tricked and you're paying for it. I am sorry. Now, I'm not trying to be mean to Black women. I promise I'm not. I am a Black woman. I am just honestly tired of hearing this recycled talking point, because I know it's not the truth. And deep down, Black women know that this is not the truth. But you've been told that if you've got a degree, you're automatically better. You've wrapped your identity in the diploma like it is a personality trait. Well, sorry to break it to you, honey. It actually just puts you in debt. This is exactly why Black women have the highest rate of student loan default. It's why they're packed in government and nonprofit jobs, the lowing pay sectors. It's why they're twice as likely than a white woman to be the head of a household living in poverty. Education was supposed to be about making opportunity, making better for your family and your community. But in this case, it's just being used as a badge for bragging rights. A degree with no direction is just an expensive piece of paper. And this culture that told Black women to chase credentials instead of competence or cash flow, it created a generation drowning in debt, working beneath their potential and still being fed the lie that they are winning. Like, come on, guys, we have to wake up. This was not just a flattering statistic. It became a strategy. The idea that Black women are the most educated is not even a topic in academia. You don't hear them saying, oh my gosh, it's World War III. Let's go get Black women. Or we need to find the cure for something. Oh my gosh, we have to go get Black women. It is just completely absurd. But what you will see is this lie being pushed in politics, weaponized in culture, glamorized in Hollywood, and then sold back to the Black community as proof of progress, especially during election years. And here are some examples. June 3rd, 2016, The Independent wrote, Black women become the most educated group in the U.S. October 27, 2020, Essence wrote, new study shows Black women are the most educated group in the U.S. September 21st, 2024, Thought Co. wrote, Black women are the most educated demographic in America. How many new studies can one stat have? I'm just completely blown away that this is even a thing. Politicians use this narrative during election cycles to praise and pacify Black women, making them feel valued without fixing anything. It's also used to justify diversity quotas, DEI hiring, and policies that have nothing to do with the actual community. But let's go ahead and listen to Jasmine Crockett tell Black women they're the most educated anyways. Take a listen.
We have BDI, we have budget cuts, and yet I'm wondering now, if your house was burning down, how much do you care what color the firefighters
you
are?
can respond and then we'll...
Listen, I am so tired. You know what? There was an article that just came out that said that actually the most educated demographic in this country right now is Black women. So let me be clear. Because you are a woman, or because I know that some of the right has been sharing these photos of the fact that I believe that the fire chief may be a woman or something, that has nothing to do with it. We are looking at qualifications. What diversity, equity, and inclusion has always been about is saying, you know what? Open this up. Don't just look at the white men. Open it up and recognize that other people can be qualified. And
I just love how they gaslight us all and expect us to be complete idiots. Like, it really makes my blood boil. Hence me making this video. But this type of lie is what feeds the arrogance and the delusion. And since she's saying Black women are so educated, I want to understand why y'all children can't read at grade level. Why are your children 5 times more likely to become a criminal? Why is the community in shambles? Why can't y'all keep a healthy relationship? Why is the single motherhood rate so high? Why is Black women struggling with mental health? Why have we aborted 20 million of our babies, like literally a third of the Black population? Why are y'all so broke? And not to mention, why is the STD rate so high? And essentially, you guys are just all obese. Y'all lead in almost every negative category, but we're supposed to celebrate this. Being enrolled in school does not erase dysfunction. Dressing it up in a cap and gown does not make it progress. It makes it propaganda. You guys are not the most educated. The stats do not work in your favor. Unfortunately, we need to fix these problems. We cannot let them gaslight us into thinking that we are the most educated when the state of our community just clearly does not show that. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, but I need us to be in reality and not think that everything is okay. Because if you think everything is okay, you don't think that we have work to do within the community. You ever heard the saying, you can judge the state of a community by the behavior of its women? Well, look at Black culture. Black women are everywhere in the media, politics, music, reality TV. And what do you see? Twerking, selling themselves online, bragging about independence while raising children in dysfunction and defending bad behavior like it is a badge of honor. Let's stop pretending like it's just like the ratchet ones, because it's not. It is the Jasmine Crockett's of the world too, the ones in suits pushing government-funded lies, patting themselves on the back while the culture crumbles beneath their heels. They are all complicit, from the OnlyFans girl to the nonprofit queens to the loudmouth influencers in Congress. It is all the same spirit: prideful, disrespectful, loud, anti-man, anti-order, and addicted to attention. They do not uplift the community. They exploit it. They do not correct bad behavior. They cheer it on, and they do not build anything. They burn it down while calling it empowerment. This isn't progress. It is a crisis. And what's wild is they think that their degrees make it all okay. Like a college diploma erases the fact that the culture is in shambles and that their children can't read. They've been programmed to believe status is salvation, and now they're out here raising a generation that doesn't know discipline, respect, or reality because they don't either. The behavior is disgusting, the logic is dumb, and quite frankly, the community is paying the price. And that's exactly why I make videos like this one, the one where I say Black women are the dumbest group in America, and I say it for a reason. But let's go ahead and take a listen to yours truly. Take a listen.
Black women are the dumbest group in America. They're literally trained crash outs. All of their ideology is backwards, and everything that they believe in is dysfunctional. These are the defenders of the dysfunction and the chaos. They encourage it. And you know that because look at Sexy Red. They allow her to sell booty hole brown and gonorrhea lip glosses. Disgusting. And then they get all these degrees to still come out broke, alone, and in debt. Not to mention they let the government convince them to destroy their children and to go against the very men that are put here to protect them. And this is why they fall for every scam that the government push. Feminism, abortion, birth control. They even fell for the scam that they're the smartest group in America. You are not the most educated. You are the most indoctrinated. Congratulations. And you talk so much about your degrees, and Black men still make more money than you and raise better children than you. Amazing. And you know what? The solution is just very simple. Bow out and let Black men lead. Simple.
So I'm not making videos to belittle anyone. It's not to be cruel. It's because somebody has to say it, because clearly the degrees are not waking you up. So maybe the truth will. Maybe the truth will get you guys to see that this is all not okay. Because if no one calls it out, we just keep repeating the cycle, celebrating dysfunction, defending poor decisions, and calling it progress. This is not the way to go. I truly feel that women are going to college and coming out stupid. They're coming out dumber than when they went in, especially Black women. I don't know what they're teaching you guys in these institutions, but you guys have been indoctrinated. I need you to know this. And this is not me trying to be judgmental or hate or anything like that. I am trying to tell you the truth because you guys can provide something beneficial to society. But as long as you're believing a lie, you will not be beneficial. I am sorry. Let's end this with what this episode was really about. This wasn't just about degrees. It wasn't about student loan debt. It was about the lie of education and what education really is. Because true education isn't about how many classes you sat through or how many letters come after your name. It is about your ability to critically question everything and not let society, the media, or politicians tell you who you are. The real flex is not a diploma. It is discernment. It's not enrollment, it's awareness. It's not chasing validation, it's knowing your value without being programmed. Black women have been sold a dream that sounds like power, but lead to dependency, delusion, and dysfunction. And the craziest part, you're still out here with more access to information than any generation before, yet proudly repeating a headline from over a decade ago. This episode isn't made to mock Black women. It is made to wake people up. Because if your education didn't teach you how to think, it was never an education, it was an indoctrination. I appreciate everybody for joining me today. Make sure you hit the like, share, and help get the message out. We need more people to wake up because the time is now. I encourage all of us to open our minds and start thinking freely and critically. This world is getting scary and we need to start paying attention. Thank you so much for being here. Share this with someone who needs to hear it because the time is now. I am Carmen JC, and I will see you guys next time.
Conscious culture, we awaken and we learn. Fire in our spirits, watch the system as it burns. Question every lesson, let the real truth return. We break the mold, and now it's our turn.